That was a cool fight. Welcome everyone back to the channel. I am Zach, your host here on the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel, and yes, I'm doing a slightly different setup for this. I'm seeing what it looks like. But welcome back. We're reviewing the third installment of the prequels of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. Yeah, I don't know. But Hayden Christensen, Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, Samuel L. Jackson, and Ian McDiarmid all reprised their roles in this movie. Also, Frank Oz is in this as Yoda. Of course, Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew are all in this movie playing their roles of C-3PO and Chewbacca. And R2-D2, he's in this movie as well. So this is the culmination of what I guess you would say this was George Lucas's culmination of his saga at this point. How did Anakin really become Darth Vader? Okay, it happened. But let me say this. This, to me, was not at all a bad movie. This, if anything, this was the best of the entire prequel trilogy. It was what really everyone was wanting to see. Point blank. Whether we got it, the way we wanted it or not, we did get it delivered. Personally, I liked how this was. Had obviously the best fight scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin, but there was just there was points in it that just kind of left you going, meh. Like, again, the whole Padme freaking drama with her and Anakin and their relationship and his easily manipulated brain. Like, he was so easily manipulated by the Emperor. It was just like, really? He was very weak-minded. But this movie does go pretty dark. It really, really does. And like I said, this had one of the best fight scenes in the entire, original, well, not the original, but the entire prequel trilogy, with Anakin taking on Obi-Wan on Mustafar, with them fighting over the lava, which probably doesn't make sense, but it didn't feel so choreographed like it did in the other two. Yes, Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan facing each other was really, really cool, but this was a lot better. And just seeing, like, them on Mustafar with everything falling in around them, when he's finally like, hey, Anakin, I have the high ground, but Anakin, who is so fueled by his rage, because for whatever reason he thinks Padme and Obi-Wan are having a thing, he doesn't listen to what he knows he should be doing. He just does what he wants. But this movie does hit on a lot of really emotional beats during this movie. Padme and Anakin's love thing aside, that stuff made me sick, like, really. But I understood it was essential to get us a Luke and a Leia. I get it. But it was a good combination. It was a good way to wrap up this entire trilogy. Seeing Order 66 being executed was, like I said, that was actually really, really dark. That was super dark. And this guy, he was going to actually, like, take out these kids, like, younglings. My God, the younglings. Like, how do you come back from that? You see this and you see what he does, and then you go to episode 6 and you're like, how is he redeemable after this? Really? And, okay, there are some parts in this that the acting is really, really bad. Again, Natalie Portman, as good as she is, just some of her lines, Anakin, I can't go with you. You're breaking my heart, Anakin. Like, just, oh my God, it was ridiculous. But I will say, Hayden Christensen really did kind of step up in this movie for me. Like, a lot better than he was in the previous one. I think he really came into his own in this one. Yes, he still had some scenes where his acting was a little bit bad. But when you get to them on Mustafar, and he's having that confrontation with Anakin, or with Obi-Wan and Padme, he did a hell of a lot better. Like, a hell of a lot better. And I actually, at points, believed that he was actually there, that he was actually this character, that he really felt that pain, that he really felt that betrayal. I guess he had something about him that was much, much better than it was in the previous ones, honestly. But you go get the whole, Senator Bail Organa, because we do see the birth of Anakin and Leia. And this is where canon kind of gets a little messed up. You talk about Leia, oh, I remember my mother. But then we find out Padme died. Spoiler alert, Padme dies in this movie at the end. So you mean to tell me those 2 seconds that you were born, you remembered your mother, but Luke couldn't? Really? Okay. But Bail Organa, he takes Padme, he takes her off to his planet. We see Obi-Wan dropping off Luke to his Uncle Owen on Tatooine. We see that. So we see how that comes. And the end with the score swelling up and, Yoda saying we must separate the children. He'll be able to feel them. We have to separate them. We see him taking these places. And all while this is happening, we see Darth Vader becoming Darth Vader. You see, oh my God. Like I said, this one, it gets dark. It was a PG-13 rating, but it gets really dark. You see, Anakin burning alive on Mustafar, then being picked up by the Emperor, and how they're poking and prodding him to put him in this suit. And if you read the novel, it talks about what's going through Anakin's mind and how he was just so angry, and his anger and his hatred is what fueled him and kept him alive. And you're just like, holy shit. And it's a gratifying feeling to see it. A little bit dumb, and because you get another no. Anyway, I won't harp on that. But then you see the final shot of the movie with Tarkin and the Emperor and Vader on an Imperial ship, and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. And you're like, that's what's going to carry me into the when I want to go back and now I want to watch the next one. But it's not, because we're going to talk about what actually carries on into that, actually, after this. But it was good. Oh my gosh, excuse me. It was very enjoyable, this movie as a whole. Like, I thought it was much better than the other two. For a 2.5 hour long movie, it was dark. It was a little gritty. Again, more CG, not a lot of practical, but that's fine. I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed this one for what it was, and it was actually a movie that I was into, and I was ready to see back in 2003. So, I'm going to give Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's definitely not a perfect movie. That is for sure. But it was enjoyable for tying up the prequels. It was the best of those stories. The best acted of those three. And it was a good lead-in to Episode 4 when you wanted to go back and watch those 6 movies again. Of course, there's more movies than there were then. So, what are we going to talk about next? We're going into the Star Wars story saga, as I'm going to coin it. We're going to go with Solo, and then we're going to go into Rogue One over the next couple of weeks. So those are what are coming up next. They are canon and they are movies, so I'm going to cover them. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Go to our Facebook group at facebook.com/use/group/YoBroNation. The link is down in the description below. And go to our Twitter page at YoBroGaming1 and follow us there. I'm actually going to have a brand new Twitter come January 1st. I'm going to post that Twitter group soon. So you guys can go there and start following me on that Twitter, and I'll link it down in the description and on the Facebook and everything else. So you guys can go check all that stuff out. Check out our other videos that are here on the channel. Check out the rest of these Star Wars reviews that I've been doing. And I'll talk to you guys later. Remember, stay healthy, stay safe, and above all else, join the nation. I'll talk to you later.